I'm here at Oceana with Christopher Viehbacher, the chief executive of Sanofi, one of the largest drug companies in the world. He's just recently posted some really nice earnings, but there was a bit of a complaint coming in the pages of the New York Times about one of your recently approved drugs, Zaltrap, which is a cancer drug, from Memorial Sloan Kettering, basically saying that this drug is so expensive that they don't want to pay for it. They don't see a lot of advantage over Avastin. Is that drug price too high? Are we starting to hit a limit in how much we can charge for these cancer drugs?
Well, it was kind of an unfortunate piece, and we'll follow up with Memorial Sloan Kettering. When you have cancer drugs, it's a little more complicated than looking at price than if you just have a pill. You know what a pill costs. In a cancer drug, it depends on what dose and how, whether you've got a patient that's an adult or a child, you dose according to weight. So we believe actually our drug is priced at the same as Avastin, but we had to pick a dose, and the dose we picked was the one that was approved by the FDA, which is 10 milligrams. If you have a hospital using 5 milligrams, then because we're comparing a price at 10 milligrams and 5 milligrams, it looks like it's twice as expensive. The broader question, though, is really one of access. And I do think that as an industry, we need to be focused on access. That's something that is a personal concern to me. So I think in this case, the op-ed wasn't quite accurate in terms of the pricing, but I think look, a lot of governments are facing deficits in Europe. We have rising healthcare costs, and we have to make sure we're striking that right balance between access, but we also have to make sure that we have yet new cancer medicines coming along with research and development. So the spirit of that op-ed is something I would fully subscribe to. We really need to make sure that there is complete access with enough incentive for research.
All the big drugs from really the late 90s that were driving Sanofi for a long time are gone. How now going forward, as you have some of these other companies who have every reason to be very hungry with their own earnings being crimped, how do you defend your biggest businesses, particularly your diabetes business? I mean, Lantus has become such a powerhouse insulin.
If you look at the diabetes market, you've got essentially 350 million people worldwide suffering from type 2 diabetes, and that is growing rapidly. And that is not a US disease, a European disease. It's a major health concern in China, in India, and in the Middle East. And as people move from villages to cities, they're changing their lifestyle. As middle classes emerge, they tend to change their diet. So there are a number of mega trends that are increasing the incidence of type 2 diabetes. And insulin is really, at the end of the day, the best way to control type 2 diabetes. Now, we have competitors, but essentially, because of the need for such significant manufacturing capacity, really 90% of the world's ability to manufacture insulin is with Sanofi, Novo, and Lilly. But even within insulin, you've got different types of product, and Lantus, for example, was the first real 24-hour coverage. So it's a basal insulin. You can take it once, and that covers you for the day. And so we will certainly be defending our territory, but we're also looking at how do we move beyond simply an insulin and move to a healthcare solution. How do we actually help patients to stay at goal? That's where payers are starting to move to. And that's why we got into blood glucose meters. We're the only company to sell a blood glucose meter in an Apple store. We have one of the top selling or downloaded apps on iPhones for chronic diseases, largely because we want to be able to tailor patient information to the progression of their disease. So we're looking at a more holistic approach to the market, and we will be different in that way than Novo. Novo has not moved into that, nor has Lilly, for example. Now, they may do other things. But I think if you've got such a major market and with 3 big players, there's room for everybody. And it's a major growth driver for us, as you've seen from our results.